Hey everybody, Morley Scott along with Dave Campbell here at TD Place in Ottawa, where tomorrow the Eskimos play the RedBlacks in the Eastern Final. Dave, some weather's coming in. It's going to be chilly and snowy. It's supposed to start, as we tape this on Saturday, it's supposed to start later this afternoon, possibly go all night, but no one's really quite sure how bad it's going to be tomorrow. But it's probably going to affect the game in some way.
Probably. I mean, I think it's reasonable to expect 2 to 4 centimeters, maybe a bit more, that'll fall during the game. So will it accumulate? And it's going to be about 3 degrees around kickoff. So will it stick on the field? You got to think it'll probably stick a little bit on the field, but it'll be windy. But this isn't a wind like at Tim Hortons Field last week. So wind shouldn't be that big of a factor. But it's just does the snow, does the mixed precipitation, how much does that affect the passing game especially? You know, the ground game probably won't be affected too much, but you know, footwear is going to be important still, and making sure that you don't slip. And it's always an advantage. It's an advantage anyway if you're a receiver, because you're the only one that knows where you're going. The defensive back doesn't know where you're going, and that will apply again in a weather game. So I think it's the unpredictability of, you know, how bad will it be? What type of game plan can both coaches on offense implement in this football game? We just don't know.
We'll be using the words ball security an awful lot, I think, because that'll be key for both teams. So offensively in the game tomorrow, the defensive backfield for both these teams, I think those are the guys who are going to win or lose the game for either side. Those are certainly going to be the players who are under the most duress tomorrow, because these two teams love to put the ball in the air, and we've got 4 of the top 7 receivers in the league playing in this game. So the DBs, one set of DBs, maybe both, going to be in for a long afternoon.
Well, when you look on the Eskimo side, you got Darius Bowman, Darrell Walker. On the other side, you got Ernest Jackson, who's the Eastern MOP nominee. You got Greg Ellingson, you got Brad Sinopoli. Chris Williams is on the shelf. But they had 4 1,000-yard receivers this year. The Eskimos had 2 receivers over 1,000. The best duo in the league with over, about 3,300 yards. That's the best in league history. Both receivers with over 100 yards or 100 receptions each. So yeah, if you're a defensive back, you're probably sweating bullets right now. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the matchups are great, I think. And you look on the Eskimo side of things from a receiver standpoint, you know, you got Abdul Kaneh against Darius Bowman. You got Jonathan Rose, who's an Eastern All-Star, against Darrell Walker. You got Mitchell White on the field side, on the wide side, against Brandon Zylstra. Those are very good matchups. So I love the mono-on-mono aspect there. On the RedBlack side against the Eskimo secondary, the one matchup you do get concerned about, Ernest Jackson against Marcel Young, because let's just speak truth here. Marcel Young has struggled this year. Then you got Khalil Payton against Pat Watkins. That if he was healthy would have been Chris Williams. So you got to think maybe an advantage to Brandon or to Pat Watkins. I love the Greg Ellingson versus Brandon Thompson matchup. That's going to be a good one. And then you got the nickelback Kenny Ladler against Brad Sinopoli. So there's going to be tough matchups in this game for sure. But it's what you love to see, and we'll see how the weather factors into it.
They played last year in the Grey Cup. Close game. They played week 1 in Edmonton this year. Close game. They played week 7 in Ottawa this year. Close game. What do we expect tomorrow, Dave? Between two teams that all of a sudden have become pretty good rivalry.
Yeah, they don't like each other very much. And, you know, this isn't Battle of Alberta type, but I think this reminds me, and it's not to its, you know, fullest extent, but the Montreal Alouettes Eskimos rivalry, you know, thinking back to even a decade ago, and of course, you know, all the matchups in the 70s. But it's hard to find a good East-West rivalry. We have one here, and I think it's going to be fun.
In the early 2000s, the Eskimos went to back-to-back Grey Cups against those Montreal Alouettes. They're trying to win this game here against Ottawa to get back to the Grey Cup for a second straight year this year, and possibly win it in 2016. Game time tomorrow is 11 o'clock. We've got the pregame show for you on 6:30 CHED. We'll sign on at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Eskimos and RedBlacks in the Eastern Final.